Hello and welcome to this tutorial for LEGO Harry Potter Years 1 through 4. This time we're going to be doing the level 1-3 A Jinxed Broom. Starting off from where we just finished in Broomstick Flying. So starting off from here, the first thing we want to do is we made sure before we entered Broomstick Flying we had Harry on Wingardium Leviosa and Ron on the pet spell. And that's because immediately what we're going to do here is we're going to do a pet warp. So targeting Wingardium Leviosa on Ron, and then putting down the pet just as the Wingardium Leviosa is about to finish. Scabbers goes to 0-0. Scabbers will then come through here, and then through this door in particular. In this room what we want is we want both characters to get onto Lumos. Player 1 we're going to move with only in this room. But what we're going to do is we're going to ignite Lumos about here with player 1. And then we're going to jump over this way. And you can see that automatically opens this Lumos gate without us having to go through the animation. What we then want to do is put player 1 back on Wingardium Leviosa to go into this room. And this room has some difficult 1p2c, so I'll walk through it one character at a time. To start off with, player 2 will go to the right and do that. Then it's going to jump twice in this direction to be able to use Lumos on that plant. One more kind of upright to be able to use Lumos on that plant. They're then going to shoot this bush, pick up this item, and put it in the cauldron like so. At which point they'll then drink the cauldron. So I'll show you what player 1 does at the same time. At the same time, player 1 will come over and shoot this bush, pick up the item that falls for it, put that in the cauldron, and then come over here and shoot this bush, pick up this item, and put this in the cauldron here. Quite simple for player 1, but it's difficult to manage both of them at the same time. Player 2 will now drink from the potion, and what player 2 is going to do is, after the drink has finished and kind of the glass gets thrown down, I'm going to start holding Y, or the spell wheel selection, because that actually skips the animation of drinking the potion. So I'll do that now. And you can see bringing up the wheel, I kind of skipped the second half of the animation. You could do that once the glass has been thrown down on the ground. You can't do it before, otherwise you get the interrupt too early. At the same time that player 2 is drinking though, player 1 is going to do this. Going to use magic on this, and then put that in place, and that allows the ability for player 2 to then pull this, and player 1 will make their way to the door over here. So that's a lot of complicated 1p2c. It's definitely quite a challenging split, that one. And then of course you enter the door with player 1. Player 1 will then get on the broomstick that's here. And you want to try and avoid running over these students here. So what I kind of do is hug the near side wall. It's RNG where the students spawn though, so sometimes it's easier, sometimes it's more difficult. In this section here, player 2 is going to make their way over to the Quidditch pitch the way you're supposed to. You can kind of just hold an up and slightly right direction, and then player 2 will go that way. Player 1 in the meantime will be coming down here, and when player 1 gets to about this area here, you can X-aim and target these pumpkins. So you see those pumpkins outside the front of the gate are hit now. Basically that allows us to be able to enter Buckbeak handling, which is all the way in year 3, but it allows us to enter that quicker and earlier. So we can now go through with player 1, oh sorry, player 2, and then player 1 will just make their way over to the level itself. Now in the level itself, it doesn't really get any easier. For this guide, we're going to assume you're using Transfiguration, because that's the way that the standard any % route goes. I will probably make another video of how to do this level without Transfiguration. But yeah, so first thing, with player 2, you can kind of just tap right from when you spawn and press B, and player 1 will get hit with Transfiguration. what I tend to do here is drop out. And then what I want to do is I want to line up the rat with this kind of line in the background here. And you see Hermione transfigurates back like that. And then you can scale the wall. I'm going to do that again because this bit takes a bit of feel. Basically, you need to get used to when Hermione is at the top of the wall here. So I know it's about there because I guess she gets up to about here on this texture. And then when she jumps kind of past that, you can hold right and you land on this invisible wall up here. You can then hold right and a slight bit of down here. And what you're looking for is once you pass this white line. Okay, camera might be a little bit different, but once you pass this white line, the halfway line kind of at the Quidditch pitch, you then want to jump. Keep going to the right though. And that will put you up here. And you want to make sure you're up here. Yeah, and then you're going to make your way along this ledge. And along this ledge, switch to Lumos. Switching to Lumos is very useful. And then the easier way of doing this, or the more consistent way of doing this, is to jump down here. And you can shoot from up there immediately. I'm then going to do a series of two buffer jumps. So I'm going to jump onto this box, buffer jump onto this box, and buffer jump onto that box. In the first jump, I'm going to shoot the painting. The reason for that is we want to basically get ourselves in this position when the camera pan for the painting being hit starts. So we want to get ourselves positioned like that. So what you can do is shoot, buffer jump, and then land up there, and you just have enough time to ignite Lumos. If you don't ignite Lumos, it's not a problem, but if you're up here, then that's really what you want. But yeah, for buffer jumping, you just need to jump and then re-grab the A button in the air. From here, you want to Lumos jump up to the left. So switch spell and spam jump, like so, to get up, and then you can go into the door here. What we're going to do here is we'll drop in player 2 again. Player 1 is going to build these stairs, and once the stairs are almost built, pretty much completely built, Ron is then going to fall down here, and that actually skips a camera pan. It's a very small skip, but it does skip a camera pan. This last room, we have two ways of doing it now. The first way is very simple. Hit player 2 with Transfig, and then player 2 will come up here. And nice and easy, we'll land up there. The second way of doing this is a bit harder, but it is faster. Player 1 goes back to Lumos, and player 1 will Lumos jump up here, or go up the stairs, it doesn't really matter. And then got to do this Lumos jump here. So you can jump onto here, and then the problem is, when you jump on here, you slide off. But there's a small fraction of time where you can switch spells and still get a Lumos jump. So you kind of have to do it like that. You see, I drop all directional inputs when I land on that. And then kind of hold forward again at the peak of my jump. It's very weird to get. I mean, I'm not 100% consistent with it. Especially not at the moment, apparently. There we go. But yeah, so that's quite a precise Lumos jump. It's one of the more precise ones in the game, which is why a lot of people opt to go for the Transfiguration strat instead. But either way you get up to this platform, the next thing you need to do is activate Lumos jump here, jump onto this thing, and then Lumos jump and kind of hold forwards. This Lumos jump, you really want to make sure when you start the jump you're holding neutral, so you're not pressing any directions. Because otherwise you can fall off quite easily. But yeah, you end up here, and then can fall down in there, and then that's the level. So again, I'm going to show what that's like if you do it a little bit faster now. So again, if I'm to show what the whole thing looks like if we do it a little bit faster, we'll obviously start off with the pet warp here. And make our way into that door. there. In this room, making sure both characters are on Lumos, and then activate Lumos with Harry early and jump to be able to interrupt that. And now this one player 2 controllers takes a lot of practice, but you can kind of see how it lines up. But once Harry's put his 2 ingredients in, he can immediately start building here. Naturally, he should end up a little bit quicker. A little bit quicker than Ron. You see, we did the interrupt with Ron while putting the wheel ball thing in place. And then we can make our way into this room. So I'm going to try and hug the near side here to avoid hitting the students. There we go. And then, as long as we hit these pumpkins, we don't need to wait for the animation to resolve. Because I believe these rooms are on the same map. It means that you don't have to... like, it will resolve itself while you're over here, and that's fine. So as long as you shoot the pumpkins, you're all good there. Transfiguration here. I also moved this mug out of the way, because we don't want that mug to be in the way while we're trying to do this. So then once Hermione's up to a good enough height, which is there, we can then hold right. You actually have a good bit of lenience on that. And you see, once I got to the halfway line there, I jumped. You can leave it a bit later than the halfway line, but it doesn't matter too much for that one. And then shot here, buffer jump, and activate Lumos. Okay, we did land on the wrong stair, but that's fine, that's not too bad. We drop in Ron now. Ron positions himself by the edge, and then we can fall down just there. And then I'm going to Lumos jump up here, Lumos jump, and then Lumos jump again. Again, that's how the harder strat looks optimally. And yeah, once we've done that second Lumos jump, that is the level. So it's quite a quick level if you do it, like, if you do it with lots of practice, basically. But it's one of the levels which will take a lot of practice. So thank you very much for watching. And I will see you in the next video.